Whoa, you guys are still here? Man, it has been a while, and I got a story to tell you. Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome to another Average Joe video. Man, it has been so long since we last met. Almost 8 months. 8 months. Wow. Do me a favor. This one's going to be a long one. Go ahead and get yourself a nice drink if you want to sit through this. If not, I will have timestamps labeled somewhere around here, or probably in the description, more than likely, for you to jump around through the topics that I want to cover. Outside of that, we got our first sponsor for this show, and it is brought to you by DistroKid. For all of you guys that are looking to make some music out there and start releasing your music, go ahead and click that link down in the description box. It does give me a little bit of a push to help me out. On top of that, you get your music through a credible distributor, and it's out there to the masses. But anyways, here we go. All right. So let's talk about the meat and potatoes of what's all evolved here first. Because I don't know if you've noticed, we got some magic things happening over here. We got a little magic thing over here. So what I want to do first is I want to talk about the gear real quick before we start talking about Full Sail. That's why you're here. But I got to showcase my equipment too. So we end up upgrading from the Focusrite 18i20. Mind you, the guys on campus and in the audio engineering degree got the 18i20 in their Launchbox. I had to purchase it myself. I'm kind of still poopy about that. They get the better Launchbox out of my music production degree. But anyways, so we did some upgrading since the last time I seen you guys. We end up upgrading from the 18i20. We are now running the Universal Apollo X6, which has been awesome. And then we maintained the 18i20 and running that via ADAT to the back end of the Apollo. Down the daisy chain we go. I have a vocal bus I'm running right here. We're running a couple warm audio pieces of equipment. We're running the warm audio version of the 1073, followed by the 1176 by Warm Audio, and Warm Audio's Pultec EQP. And it's been sounding amazing. What a night and day difference. Just the Apollo edition alone. And it's not so much just the extra clarity from the Apollo, but I bought the Apollo when it came with extra little plugins when they were running a promotion where they were including certain plugins within their purchase package. So I ended up getting a lot of Legacy Edition plugins, like a couple distressors. I got a LA2A plugin, which honestly, since I've had the LA2A, it's been literally living on everything, and it just sounds great. I love it. Alongside with that, where'd it go? We end up getting another microphone as well. This is part of the purchase package. We end up picking up a modeling microphone. And to be honest with you, I have not heard this microphone by itself yet. So it comes in a nice little case here. It's the Sphere LX by Universal Audio. Normally this runs just under $1,000. But I got it as a freebie. Again, I have no idea how this microphone sounds. I have not played with it. It's just been living in its case. Went through the process of downloading all the software for it. To my understanding, it's supposed to emulate some of the mainstream microphones out there, to include the SM7B. There's U47 emulation on there. Definitely a few Neumanns. It can emulate a couple ribbon microphones. But again, I don't know what all it does. outside of what it's supposed to do and what's been claimed. So I can't give you any sort of feedback on that. But other than that, that's pretty much it. We end up getting another power conditioner just to run the original stack I was running, which was the ART Pro VLA 2 compressor, which I'm really, I guess, has kind of taken up space because ever since I've gotten the Warm Audio piece of equipment, it's not doing a whole lot. Same thing with the little Behringer unit down there. I think those are on its final days of living in my rack unless I find something new to put them on. Outside of that, the new upgrades that we'll be focusing on next is upgrading the speakers, the monitors. For my main monitors, these are the Eris XT5s. I love them. But I'm really after the Focal Trio 6s now. And then these Eris 3.5s, which have been here since the start of everything, these will eventually turn into some Oratones. At least that's the game plan anyways. The Trio 6s are definitely going to be the first thing just because they're the most money. So, yeah. Outside of that, we've got a couple plugins in the box right now that we're running. Definitely picked up a couple more orchestral plugins. We end up picking up Metropolis Arc 2 and 3, as well as a guitar sample pack from Orange Tree Studios, or Orange Tree Samples, I'm sorry. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much the toy review there, or showcase. And I guess it's time to get down to the meat and potatoes of why you are here for my Average Joe videos. So, Full Sail. Man, I really feel like ever since the past New Year's have happened, since January, it's been nothing but go, go, go. And I really feel like I haven't had a chance to really catch my breath. Even during summer break, we had a lot of family get-togethers over our week-long of a summer break. And all the way up until summer break, we were still running and gunning. And then after summer break, it's just been full-blown, guns blazing, here we go. Yeah, it's been a doozy. And the crazy thing is I don't think I've gained anything since where I was last year, December. It is now October, or coming up on October of 2023. I think we're a couple days away from the first. But yeah, since last year, December, before I went on winter break, before the New Year's, I don't feel like I've gained anything new anyways. I feel like I've gained more from the workshop groups that I've partook in on my own time and spent my own money for. And I think I've gotten more of a personal experience from taking those workshops, as you should. You're paying money for pretty much a private lesson, at least the ones I'm going for. And there's a couple of workshops I was looking at down at Sweetwater, which is from where I'm at right now. It's only an hour away, so I've definitely considered getting some hands-on experience down there as well. But yeah, the courses that have been covered was a lot of music theory. To this day, I think I haven't learned any music theory outside of the 101, the initial music theory class I've taken last year. And the crazy part is I feel like I got funneled along. Where my music theory is right now, there is no way in hell I should have gotten past. Granted, I did do the work. I gave it my best effort. But at least in my own personal opinion, there is no way in hell that I should have even made it past the past few music theory classes. And the crazy part about the structure is that it's all the music theory classes literally build off of each other. If you lose track of a topic that's been covered in a previous theory course, you're lost in the sauce for the next one because it's constantly building. Like after summer break, I think that was about the time frame. I literally had 3 separate music theory classes back to back to back to back. And if it wasn't like in writing music theory, it was still heavily relying on music theory as far as their main class structure. And to be honest with you, I'm when it comes to that, lost in the sauce. You ask me freaking how to read any type of music notation, you're asking the wrong person. And it's I'm not saying that to be proud of anything like that. I'm paying money to learn something. I've chimed up, but unfortunately, you chime up and you volunteer to scale back to another class. I mean, it's considered a retake, to my understanding, or at least that's how it was explained to me. So that's $500 to retake a class. So I was also advised that if I really wanted to brush up on it, is to just graduate and audit the class, just to really kind of, refresh. And that's one of the nice perks of going to Full Sail, is that once you do graduate, you can audit whatever class that you want to, that you previously taken, to stay up to date. Now it is pretty much size dependent. So obviously the guys and gals coming through the ringer for the first time, they get priority. And if you're kind of at a first come, first served basis, if there's an open seat available for you to come in. Outside of that, I don't know. I've never audited a class before. So, but yeah, so that would be the game plan as far as trying to refresh out without having to spend any extra money on a private instructor to, kind of show me the ropes again when it comes down to that. But still, it's been busy. For you guys that are in your last and final year at Full Sail, batten down the hatches because stuff's about to get real. So in October now, we have 4 actual core classes left of my curriculum before I'm on to like career development stuff, pretty much just closing stuff with Full Sail. I graduate in March, so we are very, very close, but things are ramping up super quick. So this week I'm in Project and Portfolio 6, and there's only 7 of them. So Project and Portfolio 6, this has been more film scoring. We are composing 2 film scores a week for this month, and it's sync to music or sync to film. So I mean, it's really cool, but I feel like my workflow is a little bit lacking. I haven't completed the week 1 homework yet. I'm in my first week. The films so far are relatively short. They're about 1:30 per project, but I feel like it's still going to be a doozy. I guess I'm crossing that bridge now, because it's going to be some work. It's going to be some work to at least make anything that I'm proud of anyways. Like, I can definitely just kind of pull something out my ass, but I don't want to do that. That's my credibility. But yeah, that's where we are right now. I feel like I need to switch gears again. Yeah. 1 minute. All right, we're back. Had to gain my composure again. I feel like I was starting to lose my train of thought, and I really didn't want to do that to you guys. So, the big question, now that I am just a couple months shy of graduating, would I recommend Full Sail to you? if you are another student or a prospective student to Full Sail University. Is Full Sail right for you? And at this point, as I ask this question, I feel like the beady eyes of Full Sail University are just kind of hovering over me. Almost like what Disney's been doing lately. Just really on people. At this point in time, I feel like my first year was my strongest. I feel like my first year, I truly gave it my all. I was motivated. You see, from my very first Average Joe video that I've done, this scene right here has evolved purely out of motivation to make sure that I gave this my best shot. If I didn't have all this, would I recommend it? I'm not sure. And this is going to come down to what kind of student you are. So, to recap again, because the quality of my very first few videos have been very hit or miss. So my very first video, if I remember correctly, I definitely said that my computer desk, my little small computer desk, and my laptop on a painted filing cabinet little bin, it was flipped upside down. It's awesome. I got to save that if something does take off with my music career. But anyways, yeah, I said I was never going to upgrade further than what the school's given me and then the little bit that I provided myself. Obviously, you see that has changed exponentially. But the whole point of me putting all this together, yes, it feels nice to sit down at a home studio, having the equipment readily available. But the main point of this whole entire setup was to provide me my best chance, my best opportunity to succeed. The launch boxes are awesome for those producers and engineers that are just kind of getting their feet wet, myself included. I was making music prior to Full Sail, but I wasn't making quality music, and Full Sail definitely has helped clean everything up a little bit, and I'm still learning. I'm constantly learning. But the thing that separates the on-campus students from the online students is that the on-campus students have access to a plethora of the top-of-the-line gear. They have a few music studios, to my understanding, that they get to utilize for their labs. And then when they're not being utilized for labs, it's also my understanding that the students can pretty much sign up for time to just pretty much just play and work on their music. I'm not sure how available the on-campus music studios are for something like that, but it's still an option. Whereas the online students kind of get the short end of the stick. When it comes down to the launch boxes, in my perspective, all the launch box is geared for is to recap my Average Joe video 1. It's like a handy-down. It's like Big Brother, Mom, Dad giving you something on the lower end of the spectrum that just to kind of help facilitate an interest, a newfound hobby, just to see if you're interested in. That way, if you completely blow that freaking interest out of the water, or you're no longer interested anymore, you're not out thousands and thousands of dollars for something that didn't kick off, which is perfectly fine if that's the approach you look at it. That would be like, you're a little league player, playing baseball. You're not going to give them the best of the best of the best. I mean, you certainly can, but for a child where their interests change damn near on a daily basis, you're not going to give them, you're certainly not going to give them an Apollo. Let me tell you that, as far as the student standpoint. Just my experiences, like from my journeys at Full Sail, like from day one, I feel like my classes, as far as students individually online, we went from several sections of individuals, and in each section there's about anywhere between 25 to 40 individuals per section. And as the months go by, I swear the class size starts shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, which I totally understand. Life happens, either financial obligations, personal obligations, whatever. I totally understand. This is an expensive school. As I always say in my videos, this school is expensive. And I'm just fortunate enough that the military is kind of covering my expenses to attend this school. And which allowed me to have extra funds to kind of create my own workspace, So, again, going back to my original thought process, for the online students, I don't know if I could recommend this journey for you. I think on campus would be the way to go, but it's also a double-edged sword. It depends on how serious you are. If you take it serious, as an online student, I feel the classes are not enough. In the 2-year span of time that you have as an online student, the classes are not enough. The Launchbox is not enough. You are going to have to take the time, and this is my advice. You're going to have to take the time to spend time on your own outside of classes to partake in workshop groups. Be hungry. Invest in a little bit of gear. You certainly don't have to go crazy like I did, but the way how I feel that my somewhat of a success is right now is the gear has helped facilitate. I certainly don't need it, but the gear has helped facilitate me getting the same or somewhat similar hands-on training that the on-campus students get. Being able to tweak knobs. Like, you could have the same piece of equipment on a virtual plugin within a DAW, and then they're awesome. They're really awesome. But you're not going to get the same sound, and you're not going to get the same experience if you make something sound like garbage on a piece of analog gear and then tweaking those knobs to make it sound great of whatever project that you're working on. And really and truly, just having a setup alone here has helped my creativity. Like, it truly feels inspiring to come over to my little corner of my apartment, and once everybody goes to bed, it's lights out, and I'm able to turn on the colored lights and whatnot, and this space becomes my own. It's awesome. Like, it's definitely motivating to sit down at something that's been set up versus my original setup where it was just a laptop and this keyboard, So it's been awesome. On top of that, the skills I've gained while creating my own workstation compared to the other students was going through the trials and errors of learning signal flow, actually hooking up piece of equipment, troubleshooting piece of equipment, learning how to configure ADAT configurations, hooking up third-party interfaces that don't like to talk to the Apollo, or vice versa if I wanted to do that route. These are skills gained throughout these past 2 years that I'm damn sure that these on-campus students aren't getting. And I'm almost positive that on its basic level, that other online students aren't getting. You know, it's been nice to get some of the growing pains out of the way now while setting up my little neck of the woods here. And I know I just totally went on a whole side tangent, but as far as, again, recommending this school, I don't know. I don't have a full answer. I feel like I've been completely blessed with my past life choices that have helped me carve this way to get where I'm at today, as far as signing up for the military, doing 8 years in the military, so that way I could have free college. But on top of that, any type of kicker that's been sent my way because of the military paying me to go to school has been able to be sent this way. On top of that, I have a strong family network here that, you know, my spouse works, you know, so that way I could be at home spending money on new music equipment, new toys, new upgrades, you know. It's awesome. And for that part, you know, it's kind of scary, like, if to think about, like, if this doesn't work, because the music industry is already flooded as it is, especially since the pandemic, you know. So it's been, yeah, it's kind of bittersweet that we're getting ready to graduate, but I don't know. I don't know what the next chapter of this is going to be. But yeah, as far as, again, this is the fourth time of me trying to get this original thought out without going on a damn tangent. But it's going to have to come down to what you make of it. How hungry are you? Are you willing to eat ramen noodles so that way you can have something solid of a piece of equipment? Are you going to invest in the time to, at bare minimum, you know, do some self-guided learning outside of school? Are you going to take the time to learn about signal flow? Are you physically going to buy equipment so that way you can play with the signal flow? You know, it's going to come down to you. And me personally, if I wasn't in a situation where I'm in now, as far as having a strong support network, I don't know if this school would have been my first choice. To be honest with you, I think the idea of going to an audio school is cool, but I don't think that if I didn't have the support I have, that this would even be possible. And I don't think that this music career I'm trying to carve out would stick. Maybe I've just bought myself time, you know, as far as everything I invested, but I don't know. I really don't know. But again, I also don't know if I can recommend the school just based on that, at least as an online student. If I was just stuck with the basic Launchbox alone, I think I would have sank. I would have sank a while ago. But, yeah. Those are my thoughts. Outside of that, though, the networking opportunities, let me talk about the positives, because we can't just talk about negatives, right? Positives have been working with industry leaders, getting their insight. Outside of maybe a handful of workshop groups, I have never gotten hands-on with a handful of these former producers or current producers, current composers out there that have worked on big name projects, that have a laundry list on their resume as far as past projects that they've completed. That's been awesome to just hear any sort of insight. And it's been awesome to, hear their feedback on my work, if they like it or not. And areas where I can kind of tweak my craft a little bit. But it's also been great to, just network. There's a lot of individuals, that are just out there that are like-minded, and that's been cool. And it's also opened up doors for, other networking opportunities outside. It's always like a friend of a friend of a friend that, hey, this person, I just had class with you like several months ago, and they're reaching out. I'm like, oh, that's so cool, and that part's been really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of a little scatterbrained as far as just this experience in general, and I think I'm getting more, rattled the fact that, I'm just a few months away from graduating and not really knowing my next move. I think I know my next move. I don't know my next move of what happens after Full Sail. Do I pick up an awesome internship? Do I work for Sweetwater Sound and become a salesman? It's an avenue. I love Sweetwater with all my heart. I don't know if I'm cut out for a salesman. My preferred path, like every individual that is attending this degree program or any degree program, is I want to work within my field. And I think I owe that to myself to really stay within my craft and not just sell music equipment, but actually work with music. But with that also, I've also noticed my workflow has been lacking. I'm very slow when it comes down to my music creation process. I think it sounds decent. Could it be better? Absolutely. I'm always learning. But when it comes down to like the production phase, mixing and mastering phase, I am slower than molasses. For stuff that should have been taken 3 days, a 3-day turnaround, here I am taking a week, 2 weeks, last minute, type of deal. And that part's a little discouraging just because I know how fast the actual people in the industry are turning projects around. So, I don't know. I guess that part's going to come down with time, right? But with that, we did get through my trials and, put my nose in the books. It did help open up a new avenue for me, which I've been very blessed to be a part of. So back in May of this year, I got to become a member of the Country Music Association, which that was awesome. I'm a student member, but to be a part of the membership or just be a part of a huge country music community like that is freaking awesome. That has the potential to open up a ton of doors. The only downside to it is it's all back in Nashville, and I'm in Southern Michigan right now. As far as any type of internship opportunities, there is a lot. Like, as soon as I gained membership to the CMAs, I get monthly emails as far as internships, job postings. Do I want to work CMA Fest, for certain positions? Not just like, ticket handler, but actually like sound engineers, live sound engineers. I'm like, oh, that would be freaking awesome. To stagehands, which would be more laborious than anything. But just to have the opportunity like that, I was like, wow. I'm actually pretty happy that I got in with that. And the nice thing too is because it was a long vetting process. I am aware that they've contacted my school. They had to contact a list of personnel that I've listed on my contact form just to kind of vet me through. It was a few month process, but to have that welcome email as far as, hey, you've been accepted in the CMAs, that was really cool. And that definitely gave me a nice little motivational push to keep going. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so there's where we are. I hope I didn't bore you, and I hope this is one of the better videos I've produced out there. So, my final thoughts are, just to kind of recap, search up the school, make sure that, you know, it's something that you want to do, and how aggressive do you want to be with your music career? Let me know in the comments. But also, we're almost ready for graduation, and we're trucking along through the journey. We're almost there, and I hope to keep pushing these videos out as I start getting closer to my graduation date. But I hope to start a new chapter in my music career at some point and take you guys along with me. I post avidly on Instagram. I just started releasing my own music, so you can find me on your favorite streaming platform. Just type my name in, Tyler Runyon, and you should be able to listen to a little bit of my music. Outside of that, if you guys like the video, please like the video. If you dislike the video, please dislike the video, but leave me a comment on how I can improve, and that will do wonders for me. I know this video is pretty lengthy, and if you stuck it around this long, thank you so much. But without further ado, it's time to get my nose back in the books, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care now.